Good evening, everybody. We'll try to keep tonight's session relatively short because there's really not too much to do other than to review positions and why they're there. But here's where the signals become extremely obvious. There might be a bounce in the market indexes off the 200. And where would we expect our bounce to go to? The T-line. And then with Friday's bearish Doji Harami, it made it very simple for what would happen today. They opened up positive, bullish Doji sandwich. If they opened lower, the T-line was still acting at this level. Same scenario over here in the NASDAQ. A bearish Harami. And where did it occur? Right smack dab at the 50-day in the T-line area. Making it very simple. Bearish Harami, if they open it lower, it would be a good indication that the 50-day moving average was going to continue to act as a resistance, a bounce, a possible blue ice failure, which means here's the next target. So let's take a gander at some of the ones we recommended today. Here's something you always want to keep in mind. When you see a fry pan bottom, when you start seeing whipsawing, get ready for a good breakout. As this is where the decision making starts to get very enthusiastic. This is harder tonight. And again, observe the obvious. If we know that a left-right combo is an extremely strong reversal signal, and we see it right smack dab on the T-line, it's a pretty good indication there's been a major change of investor sentiment that you want to start buying. So we got some loco. After the inverted hammer, bullish confirmation. You hang on to this as long as it doesn't close below the T-line. Sally needs to open positive tomorrow to stay long, to maintain this 45 degree. IMMU staying above the T-line. Especially after your big morning star signal right off the 50-day moving average. That's usually a good indication that that's exactly where they started buying. Overstock. Whoops. One more. I would think they're going to maintain this steady uptrend. Yeah, I apparently put the wrong arrow in the recommendation last night. Because, first of all, you knew that you had a bullish left-right combo. That should just be sunk in your head that that's probably a good reversal. The next day it opened lower. But as soon as it opened, what did it do right here on the T-line? Started trading positive. So where would be the logical place to be buying this one? Just as it came back up through yesterday, or the left-right combo, and open on the T-line, and then bullish indication. That one is pretty close to 3 white soldiers, yes. The golds and the silvers were a little bit sluggish today, even though gold was, I think, still trading up pretty well. But you stay long until you see a sell signal. So see what happened in Anglo Gold today. Bearish signal, so it still has to open positive, stay in it. Kind of the same scenario on Nava Gold. So they're getting a little bit choppy, but they haven't confirmed yet that they're ready to reverse. SMSI needed to break out through this area. As you see, it hasn't done that. If you're long, you have a doji, still need to see if they can break up through. If they start trading lower, that would kind of be a good indication that that resistance level is remaining resistance. So a lot of these bullish charts are still bullish, but they're fighting the downward trend of the market. So the T line at that point becomes very relevant. PTLA, there's your bearish Doji Harami. That's your stop right at today's low. It shouldn't come back in that direction. Otherwise it's confirming that bearish Harami. And Diebold did an evening star signal right about the same level it topped out before. If you're long, this one has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. If it opens lower, close it out right away. That tells you the bears are back in control. We still have a fry pan bottom on CLDR, but it backed off today right to the T-line, which wasn't good. A bearish left-right combo after that kind of bearish belt hold type signal. But you have a very simple strategy here. If it opens lower below the T-line, close it out. Let's see, some of the ones that should have been closed out. CASA. On that day, that was Friday, it had to open positive and trade positive. The fact that it closed below the T-line should have had you out because of two reasons. One, closing below the T-line, and two, you can see that there's no bullish pressure here. There's no reason to be in that one. UPWK. Here's one that if you bought it on this gap up and then it was a doji, you had a very simple rule. If it opened, especially gap down, you were closing immediately. Now you might have the prospect of a short. But that abandoned baby told you there was a strong reversal, that it was starting to go the other way. Crocs has been holding up reasonably well, but you're right back here at the T-line. Once again, this has to open positive and trade positive. If it opens lower, you're bearish engulfing right here at this dark candle. Is telling you that was the area that people were starting to sell. And Twitter should have been closed out today. Again, number one, it closed below the T-line. And number two, you can see there's nothing as far as bullish trajectory on this one. And SPWR, same scenario. It needed to stay above the T-line, which it didn't do. Probably, Green, and that's based upon what you expect coming out of this type of market formation. Probably at least pulling back, and it's more evident in the NASDAQ where you have a potential bearish blue ice failure. Sorry about that. I think the battery dead in my mouse. But as you can see, on our recommendation to short TX, once it broke down, never could get back up above the T line. Even though it looked a little bit nervousy here, it still broke down because it never got back up above the T line. Where am I? Okay, so some of the biggies. We were long Tesla. Now, Tesla closed right back on the 50-day moving average. It's then a wedge. If this opens lower tomorrow, we're closing out Tesla because it's not bouncing back up. But if it does come back up, it's giving you pretty good evidence that the 50-day moving average is acting like a support level. So you definitely want to see what type of signals occur there. Here's another blue ice failure. Yes, a blue ice failure is just almost like a bobble breakout. It just happens to be more defined as far as your J-hook, bearish J-hook. Breaks down through the support of the 50, comes back up, fails at the 50, making this target right here your next likely target. That was Facebook. Roku, on the other hand, after it hit the 50 and gapped up, it's still in a nice, at least a 45 degree. Amazon did the same failure here at the T-line, making the logical target. Because of this bearish harami right here at the T-line, makes the 200-day moving average that much more likely as a next target. Netflix, basically nothing right here right now. XL or XNLX, bah. XNLX. Well, what's happening here? Did I type that wrong? XLNX, another one. Even though it had an evening star signal, if you covered it here, the best place to reshort it was right back here because that negated that bullish signal. Apple, nothing. And Nvidia, not a good chart to trade, but if you short, you can stay short on this one. Oh, there's something wrong with this mouse. Bah. Let me see if I can get it. GSX, nice J-hook pattern breakout. You can stay long on this one. Palladium, left-right combo, followed by a bullish doji sandwich up through the 50. I would suspect next target's up in this area. And 10, whoops, this did kind of a bobble breakout. I'd be ready to buy this one on positive trading tomorrow based upon kind of your doji rule and evidence of a bobble breakout. There's your message. There's the telling that it's not selling off. Get ready for more upside. Hold on for one more second. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay, sorry about that. I think it's the mouse pad. See if that works. Okay, yeah, okay. So anyways, 10 is a good buy on positive trading tomorrow. GTHX, look at your best friend signal, followed by a bullish doji sandwich. Another good prospect. RKDA, there's your best friend signal. Remember, these are telling you something, that there's a strong bullish sentiment when they gap it up. Hold your individual stock requests until we get done here, and then when I tell Jim to do the double line, you can type it in. NPTN, watching for a bobble breakout here. Again, that gap up tells you there's a lot of strength in this move. And ATRA, bullish left-right combo. This opens positive tomorrow would be a viable trade. And when I say open positive tomorrow, when we wake up tomorrow, if we see the pre-market futures showing good strength, the longs you can start going after. Now, on the other hand, if it keeps moving in the direction, or the markets keep moving in the direction we suspect on a blue ice failure, find the ones where the weakness is pretty strong. So the gap down, recovery, now a bearish Harami. If this starts trading lower, that means they're still taking it down quite a bit. That's NKTR. ANAV, you can see kind of the dumpling top. And then the failure today, that's another good one to think about going short. Our SPWR, that should have been closed out because it closed below the T line, now becomes a prospective move back to the 50, which is right where this first gap started. And based upon that that gap or the doji lower trading, that's a good indication that the bears definitely have taken control now they've closed it below the T line. Anytime you see something like this where they came up to an obvious resistance level, did your evening star, that's still one that you can short with good confidence. And RareX, if this opens lower tomorrow, you can be shorting it with the expectation that your next target would be down to the 200-day moving average. Notice your doji gap down, and from that point, they've never been able to get it back up above the T line. SMAR, bearish J-hook pattern failure, also a blue ice failure potential all the way down here. See if this works. There we go. That was clever. We ran the mouse pad through the washer. Save the day. iRobot, bearish J-hook pattern, another one. Start watching for strong selling going into the next wave. Uh-oh. And a bearish J-hook on SSNC. this one can be shorted on weakness. So anytime you hear me say watch to see what it does once it gets to the T-line, it's to see what type of signal is being created at that point. If we did a big bullish engulfing or a big candle that went up through told us the T-line wasn't in effect anymore as a resistance. Comes up, does a shooting star, basically fails at that level, that tells you it's still an effective resistance or a downtrending indicator. An EPC, there's kind of your evening star, close below the T-line, close below the 50, more downside potential. So this whole market scenario tells us we probably have another 1 or 2 days where they bring it back down to the 50 or the 200. Same with the NASDAQ. Potential of coming all the way down here. I'd definitely keep your short positions in place and or add a few to that level or to the short side. Okay. I guess that's about all we got tonight. Is there any general questions on candlesticks? John, when they gapped it down today, that means they opened it down the limit. Didn't move from there. So that means tomorrow, let's see, feeder cattle went down the limit, down 45 cents to this level, and they never brought it up off that level. What patterns do you scan for the most? Most of the time when I do a scan, it's based upon just going through my trading universe and seeing which stocks had the biggest percent price move today. When I go through probably the first 20, 40, 60 stocks, I'm probably going to come up with 3, 5, 7, 10 that are candlestick reversal signals. And then if I didn't find enough, I go to my kicker signal scan. And usually by that time I've found more situations that I need, and then I can go back and see which ones are the best. Having trouble discerning, well, if you're looking at something like this, even though you're not in the overbought area, you had a bearish Harami at a level that you can obviously see was acting as a resistance level. So the ultimate sell signal is a dark cloud or a bearish Harami with stochastics up here. But there's still, remember what we always say, that the signal is the first criteria. Then you see what other indicators tell you it's going to concern it or improve the probabilities that that the selling at that level is telling you something. Abandoned baby reversal. No, it tells you drastic change of investor sentiment. Now, first of all, even though you're not in the overbought area, if they gap it up and do a candlestick potential reversal, and it confirms the next day, especially by gapping down, yes, that's a very powerful reversal. That tells you something drastically changed from the time they wanted to take it up to the time they took it right back down. So the abandoned baby is one of your strongest reversal signals. Very, very definitive. I see there was a lot of uptrending stocks you recommended, being that this is a downtrending market. Yeah, you're going to run into that situation that even though you've got the market selling off, the fact that you can see things that are in an uptrend, you still have that simple criteria that as long as it stays above the T line, your your analysis remains the same. If you placed a market order on a buy signal, but it jumps up, way up when it opens, how do you handle it if it starts sliding back down the rest of the day? John, usually what I do in the first place is if it gaps up, if you're sitting here watching it, I'm trying to think of one. Let's say hypothetically this opened right here and started trading lower. Yeah, I usually wait until I see the selling has stopped. CLDR, is that one that? Yes, so if I see this gap up, I want to see what they do after the gap up. So I'm not afraid to wait 30, 90 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. But if they open it and they continue to trade it off, what's that telling me about the buyers? Buyers aren't there. When is it the best time to put your stops in at night or after the opening bell? Well, each time you look at a trade, let's say, for example, you're long CDLR, and you know that if it opens lower, you probably want to close it out. If it opens positive and starts trading positive, maybe after 3, 5, 7 minutes, I'll put a sell stop right here because logic says if it opens up here and then comes back down through that level, this signal is still activated. Or is it the 90% just for the is it the 90% just for the candlestick buy alone? Okay. Blue ice failure, Diana, is just a very high probability trade. Just like the bobble breakout is a high probability trade. Yeah, I forget which one was the blue ice failure. Well, I think Amazon has a potential of blue ice failure. Forget the other ones. There's a blue ice failure on SMAR. So that's one they want to watch. Okay, Jim, let's go ahead and do the double line. John, when you recommend a buy signal, should I be buying end of day or next open? The next open. But what is the simple criteria that you want to be looking for if you see a candlestick buy signal? What do you want to see the next day? Well, first of all, you want to make sure the Dow is not opening up down 120 points. You want to see if the markets are holding steady or still moving in a bullish direction. And secondly, you want to see how the stock is opening. If, for example, we were going to short SMAR tomorrow, and it opened up here, and the market popped up a little bit, but then started sagging, then you put your sell stop down here. Oh. Okay. So I might not short it right away, but if it started coming back down, that's when I short. Okay. AMRS. AMRS. There's your, yeah, you want to stay long on this. Obviously, you want to see what happens if it gets up through, or if it can get up through the 200-day moving average. CLDR has to open positive and trade positive. Bearish left-right combo, but still in it as it's holding the T-line. Sell on weakness, yes. Similar to SBH, yes. This one needs to open positive. If it opens lower, now you've got a bearish doji sandwich, and your uptrend is completely gone. AMD, not a good chart. The fact that it kind of failed up in this level tells me I would have been out of it today, or I'm out of it on weakness tomorrow. It's not a good trading chart. And Apple, nothing here. Right now, I wouldn't be long or short. Now, it has the potential of a bobble breakout, which means it needs to come back up through the 50. McDonald's, not a great chart, but it's a slow uptrend. It has to stay above the T-line also. And XLNX, if you're short, you stay short. UN has to get up above the T-line. And I say has to because in this market conditions, you don't want to be buying something that's not really confirming. Viva, I wouldn't be long or short this one. And Silica, you can stay long. You can see you're not in a great chart yet. Got kind of a rounding bottom. Stay long. Just watch to see what it does once it gets to the 200-day moving average. TRV, nothing. You could possibly go short, but it wouldn't be the best looking short. I probably wouldn't be trading this one. Cisco, with earnings coming out Wednesday, nothing there to tell you want to be long. And if you're short, you watch to see what happens when it's going into the close tomorrow. Michaels, all you can do here is stay short. Have your safety stop just above yesterday or Friday's open. The SOX, another one that's got the prospects of coming back down to the 200. We did AER, just stay long. Macy's, stay short. Again, use the T-line as your stop. The Russell. Right now you want to be short the Russell. Oh. APOP, if you're thinking of buying, you can buy it on positive trading. You saw the profit taking today. If it opens back up, you can keep buying it, telling you the profit taking's over. Guild, nothing exciting here. I'm not even sure I'd be short this one. I'd probably be trading something else. Pfizer, stay short. Blink, that's a toughie. I don't know what the volume is. You want to make sure the volume is good. You can be buying this one with the expectation it's coming back up to the top of the trading range. SP, type it in again. If I saw it, I didn't comprehend what you were asking. Did you email me that question? The 90% was yes, it needed open positive. Ballard Power, stay long as it stays above the T line. KPTI. Nothing great here. It has to open positive to stay in it. If it opens lower, you can see you hit a resistance and it's not going anywhere. Micron, nothing. I wouldn't, boy. If I was short, I'd still be using the T-line as a stop. It shouldn't come back up through that level. And Zynga, another one that has a potential blue ice failure that could take you all the way down here provided the volume is good. Walmart, stay short. Another bearish J-hook heading for the 200. AMRS, you can stay long, just watch to see what it does once it gets up there. PVG, Shooting Star, put your safety stop, try at the open of this day. If it comes down through there, they're selling after the Shooting Star signal. Perry, stay long. You're in the overbought area, put your safety stop at the open. It shouldn't come back down to that level. Clorox. If you're long, it has to open positive and trade positive. If it stays below the T-line, close it out. And Momo, same scenario. If you're long, it has to get up through the T-line pretty quick. Capri, bearish J-hook pattern. Yes, you can short that one. OKE, nothing great in this chart. If you're long, you can stay long. I wouldn't be a buyer of this one. That's kind of a choppy chart. And this one, after your best friend signal, you stay long again as long as this stays above the T-line. Hoop, nothing. If you went long the last couple of days, you should have closed it out today with the implications this one's heading back to the 50 again to see if it's going to act as support. Square, after your big best friend gap down, you stay short till you see a buy signal. LJPC, nice fry pan bottom. You can stay with this one. What kind of scans to use again? Very simply, I'm looking for stocks that had the biggest percent move today on my universe of stocks. Stocks greater than 5 and trading on an average more than 200,000 shares a day. Usually I'll find, if you know the signals, you'll find 5, 10, 15, 20 good signals just in the first 40, 60, 80 of one of those stocks or one of those charts. This is the stocks. Get ready for a bobble breakout. That's the bearish one. And a breakout on URIV. Just, I don't know what the volume is on this. Just make sure your volume is pretty hefty. The S&P 500 failed at the 50. I would suspect your next target right now on a bearish blue ice failure is heading down in that direction. Facebook, same scenario, blue ice failure that could take you back down to the 200. What do you scan for when you look for the best signals again? I don't scan for the best signals because if I just look at the biggest percent moves, I'm probably going to find the signals, the best friends, the left-right combos. Charts are out of sync with commentary. Or maybe my commentary is out of sync with the charts. How's that? I don't know. Procter & Gamble, nothing. It's one of your slowest moving traders of all. SHLK looks like a bullish engulfing, but look at the magnitude of return. If this moves from here to here, that's going to be a 1.5 on a $20 stock. I should know. That's what, 7.5%. That's right? I guess 1 point would be 5%. Yeah, so that's your percentage move isn't going to be all that. Yeah, more of an institutional one, Frank. Do the new scans. Give the stocks with the greatest percent moves. Do the new scans. Give the stocks to the new scheme. Oh, this gives a, okay, so that's probably going to be more of a yield play if it's trading 8%. Yes, you can always, yeah, you can set up your scans to find the biggest percent moves. Okay, so the couple that, or the few that I see look good. CLL or COLL, left-right combo followed by a bullish doji sandwich fry pan bottom. That's a good, viable trade. And 10, another one that's got a bobble breakout as the, again, after your message, some strong upside. And I wouldn't be afraid to be shorting SMAR on weakness tomorrow. Whoops. SSNC, another short. And EPC, another short. So take a look at the shorts tonight, take a look at the longs, and then depending on how this market opens tomorrow, I still suspect more weakness. Oh, the latest scanning package, it should. Well, once you get your scan set up, you're going to have them set up on the basis of which ones move the biggest percentage. So you're looking for the signals and then which ones have confirmed the strongest. Okay. Oops, we're done a little bit early, but that's good. Everybody can get out and enjoy the shooting stars. All right, everybody, we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll see you then.